going to show you this banjo that I bought just before Christmas. It comes from Crawford Banjos, and they're based in Ireland, and Rob Crawford is the man who makes the banjos. And this is a fretless instrument. I've never had one like this before, and it's called a tackhead banjo because the head is tacked on like this rather than held in with brackets as you normally get on a banjo. And because of that, it's incredibly light. I weighed it yesterday and it's just shy of £3. Very, very, very light. It's a nice thing to sort of pick up and play. It was very nicely packed, I have to say. Came in what looked like a guitar cardboard box. I was a little bit dubious when it arrived, but inside was this kind of polystyrene hard shell, and it was safe and sound in there, and it came in perfect condition, which I was very relieved about because I always worry when I buy instruments over the internet. The head is made of goatskin, like I say, tacked on, and it's got this rather interesting bridge. The bridge is held on here. The bridge is made of wood, and there's the end of the dowel here that the bridge wraps around, and it's a very simple design. It works really well. I'll show you the other side. See, there's the dowel going through there, and with the serial number. This piece of wood here, I guess, keeps the neck and the dowel attached. That obviously goes through into the neck. So it's a simple design, but it is really nicely done. All of this wood is sycamore, and the fretboard is made of, I think you pronounce it wenge. It's spelt W-E-N-G-E, but I think it's wenge. So the fingerboard, you can see, is slightly darker than the rest of the wood, but it makes for a really comfortable playing experience. There were some pencil marks on the head so that I knew where to put the bridge. Obviously, when these things are shipped, the strings are detuned, and then you have to tune it up yourself. Let's look at it from the top down, shall we? So we have what really looks like a guitar head here. These are described as economy tuning machines, and that's just what they are. They remind me very much of my days as a guitar teacher in school. All the guitars had these types of tuners, and they work really well. In fact, I probably prefer those to the friction type ones where you have to kind of push in and turn, because they are notorious for slipping. These are great. A very neat design. Lovely nut here that's been cut beautifully and glued really nicely. There's the shorter string with its machine head. I love the way you've got the wider part of the fingerboard here and this peg for that top fifth string, and a little slot there that the string goes through. You know, it's simple in design, but it works perfectly. At the top end of the fingerboard here we have a frailing scoop. If you're a frailer like me, it enables you to get your finger in, and it's much more comfortable to play. You don't have to play there. Sometimes I play over the head itself. So I've never owned a fretless banjo before, so I wasn't quite sure what to expect. Now, if you're going to get one of these, don't expect it to be super loud like a bluegrass banjo. I've got a Deering Sierra frailing banjo, open back like this. It has steel strings and it's a lot louder than this. This is not loud, but I didn't want it for its volume. I wanted it for its kind of old-time plunkiness, and that's exactly what you get with this type of banjo. If you're a guitarist like me, you're used to things like Stratocasters and Les Pauls, where the action is super low, the strings are really close to the fingerboard. But on this kind of instrument, the action isn't really low. Up here, it's around 9mm, where the frailing scoop is. That's not important. It won't trouble you at all, because kind of the charm of it is the fact you push the string down onto the fingerboard to get the tone, a bit like an expensive classical guitar. Just going to give it a quick tune up here. It does stay in tune very well. Now, you may have noticed that it's tuned lower than your standard 5-string banjo. Those sort of banjos are tuned to G major. This is tuned down to E major. Okay, I don't know if it'd stand being tuned up to G, but I haven't tried. It seemed to be very happy in E major, and I don't want to push my luck with these nylon strings. Again, another reason for buying this. This is my first banjo, apart from the odd ukulele banjo. It's the first one I've had with nylon strings. And these are heavy gauge nylon. I think you can put Nile gut strings on as well, but these happen to be nylon And obviously this fourth string here is wound. So what's the playing experience like? Well, actually it's really nice. I'm no great banjo player. I'm a guitarist, squeeze box player who plays a bit of banjo. That's how I describe myself. So I'm certainly not a professional banjo player. I started off years ago on bluegrass banjo with the picks, you know, a banjo that's got the resonator on the back. But about 12 years ago I moved to clawhammer or frailing banjo, and so I've been playing that ever since. That's the style I play, and that's the style that works really well on this instrument. The joy of the fretless fingerboard is that you can do lots of sliding. So I'm going to play a few little pieces, probably not particularly well, so I'm still finding my way. Sometimes you can slide up to the note and that's fine, and sometimes you need to put your finger down and be pretty sure that you're in the right place, and if you're not, you soon find out. So I'm going to start off with this really simple version of Cripple Creek, and you'll hear a bit of sliding here. Now I know that just about here, almost in line with the fifth string peg, is same pitch as the fifth string. That's what I'm aiming for with this tune. So notice there, I've just looked down and realised I'm playing over the head of the banjo, and probably much like the guitar, the further away from the bridge you play, the more mellow the sound. But as you can hear, it's a very mellow, plunky sound anyway, which is really nice. Let's play something else. Let's do a tune called Handsome Molly. I've just realised I haven't mentioned the little dots on the side here. There's one here where my finger is, and there is another one here, and there is one up here. And what are they? Well, I think the first one is where the first fret would be, and the second one is where the third fret would be. Let's play something you'll know, which is Oh Susanna. Definitely get a better sound playing with your finger in that frailing scoop rather than over the head, I've just noticed. Last night I was messing around with a blues thing. This is going to be played in a kind of semi-guitar style. I was driving my dog nuts with this last night, and she's decided, we've got this puppy and she's decided she's not a big fan of the banjo. Lord knows what's going to happen next week when my hurdy-gurdy arrives. More of that in a later video. Anyway, this is a kind of a 12-bar blues that I'm messing around with. None of that was very well played, I know, so do forgive that, but I'm finding my way with this fretless instrument. I played fretless bass in the past, a long while ago. I have to say it's a very pleasurable experience. If you're used to the confines of frets like I am, being a guitarist and being a banjo player who's played only banjos with frets in the past, it's really lovely sliding up and down. You get a really lovely feel from doing that. This wood, this wenge wood, is so smooth underneath your fingers. Rob advertised this instrument as playing like butter, and it truly does. So anyway, 10 out of 10 to Rob for this banjo. I absolutely love it. Thank you very much, Rob. If you go on YouTube and look up Crawford Banjos, you'll be able to see lots of videos that Rob's put up of instruments that he's made and sold in the past. He's quite a prolific manufacturer, even though I'm guessing he just makes them on his own in his workshop there. In the US, there are lots of these kind of solo banjo manufacturers. It's really nice to have a manufacturer in the UK here, albeit in Northern Ireland, and I've been chatting to Rob on Facebook. He's a lovely guy, very friendly, very helpful, and if you are looking for this kind of instrument, I won't tell you the price because it might change as the years go by if you're looking at this a few years hence, but suffice to say, he's not greedy with his pricing. You do get value for money with this instrument. So there we go, the Crawford 5-string fretless banjo. It's tuned to E major, but it'll probably go up a little bit higher than that if you wanted, but it feels right at that pitch. If you've got any questions, drop your comments below, and you can always get in touch and I'll try and answer them for you. Thank you very much for watching, and you'll see me in my next video.